What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Birdy Num Num podcast. Having a good week, knocking out podcasts left and right, and super excited this week to have a girl I have known over the years. Give it up, everybody, for Miss Madhuri Braganza.
Yeah. What's up? Thanks for having me, Sanjay.
Thanks, dude. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a long... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It was such a long drive here in Bangalore.
No, I'm kidding. Very close by.
Madhuri, for those of you who may not know, although she's had a fantastic year, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
Has been in a bunch of my videos as well, right here in this apartment.
Yeah, yes. That's what I debuted with, guys.
Yeah, she debuted in our Made video, but she's been on the theater scene, the music scene, a lot of the scenes here, in the acting scene here in Bangalore, and very recently she's had what I like to joke is an overnight success that took 5-10 years, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is so important that you guys should know. Nothing comes
is.
Free or comes easy.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it feels so much better when you put in all the work, you know.
Yeah, because he's like, I've earned this.
Yeah.
I've struggled. So Madhuri, for the few people who may not know, if you could just give a quick 1-minute background into your kind of professional career, Bangalore, what you've been up to the last 5 years.
Okay, so graduated as an architect in 2013.
Bangalore?
Yeah, in Bangalore. And worked for a couple of years and then kind of realized that, okay, this is not really what I want to do. Because
like
my bosses
everybody.
were not the best, yeah.
Okay.
And took a while, argued with my parents about how I wanted to shift. And then now they're really supportive, of course. But went into special education, actually. Did my master's in special education, which I just finished, a few months ago. And during all of this, acting just happened.
Oh my!
So,
There's so many actors watching this right now. Like, oh really?
I'll tell you exactly how it happened. So basically, I was doing a lot of ads. So third year, fourth year.
I love it when people are like, I just got into movies, and how did that happen? Well, see, I was doing a lot of ads. I'm like, well, how did that happen? Like, how did?
I will tell you how the ads happened. So I had a senior from college who was actually in engineering while I was in architecture, and he was working with Nirvana.
Okay, Nirvana is a big film production house. They do all the major commercials in this country.
In Bangalore.
Yeah.
Okay, in this country.
One of the biggest in the country, but thankfully based in Bangalore.
Bangalore, exactly. Yeah. So he was auditioning like some 300-400 people. Okay. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's just go. Yeah. And I went, it was a Titan ad, and
Watches.
Yeah, watches.
Okay.
And
this is a Fitbit, by the way. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I got the role, but I did not appear in the ad.
This happened to me too for a Samsung commercial. They pay you and they cut you out.
Yeah. They paid me, and I think a strand of my hair came in the ad, and I was like, hey, that's me, guys, can you see me? Yeah, so that's what happened. And because there were two lead actors, Nitya Menon and Fahad Fazil, two Mallu actors, coincidentally. Okay. And and then there were about 18 of us who got selected out of these 300 people. So I was like, hey, okay, cool. Then at least my audition went well, blah, blah, blah. And then like that, I got another audition, and that's just how it happened. Like your database kind of gets shared among casting directors, I think. So that's how it happened. Yeah.
So you had a senior in college who was working at a film production house, and he was just like, hey, I need to cast. No offense, but I'm saying we hear this a lot, a pretty face or a gray-haired guy or something.
And like, he you know how all casting directors say things like, we're looking for different kinds of
people. We're looking for a different face, just something that really pops.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, of course I have a different face, but I was like, so I'll come. And then they actually chose very different-looking people, and
Well, the ad was for Titan. Do you remember what your role was? Were you just like
yes,
college kid one or something?
So basically, it was a brunch table, and there were like about 14 of us, 7 I think on either side, and we just had to drink and eat, and it was an amazing role. But I was like, damn it, I didn't appear. It was like I was a plant in the background. But so that's what it was. And the audition was also just kind of getting along with people and just talking over a table. So which I don't think anyone's bad at. So
I love when I've auditioned for stuff in Hollywood as well. Hollywood, and they're like, we're really looking for a unique face that can. I'm like, how hard is it to hold a beer bottle in the background?
Exactly.
Like, why are you guys? But they have to show they're auditioning. They have these big budgets to justify spending
and prove to the client that they've auditioned like different kinds of people and all of that.
That one strand of hair must really pop when it's on screen for 3 seconds as you're skipping the ad on your YouTube page.
Oh God, people actually started watching ads, before the YouTube videos. They're like, Mads, now we're trying to search for you, so we actually wait and we don't skip it. I was like, yes.
We're waiting. You're like, I don't get any money of that, but thank you. Yeah, it's so funny. But that's, if I understood correctly, so architecture, boring, typical thing, 24,
Yeah.
25, whatever. And let me play around with commercials because it's fun.
Yeah.
I have an opportunity. And then you basically got into the roster. And then as the years went on,
Yeah.
I know you because, through my friend Vamsi. I think we met through Vamsi or through somebody else before
I
then?
really don't remember because maybe through Vamsi because it was, I think, after one of the shows, and then Urge Pricing was after the...
Yes, that's right. So I was looking for an actor for our sketch, Urge
remember.
Pricing, and which you were...
Oh my God, no, I met you at the show that you did at Orion. Remember that wine place?
Yes, Berries and Barrels.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what it's called. Yeah,
Okay,
one of my
so
friends stuff was,
So Madhuri used to come for our comedy shows, and then over the years, she got to know my friend Vamsi and other comedians. And then, hey, Bangalore is a small enough entertainment community, but I feel so much talent comes out of here because you hone your skills here, and then if you want to move to Bombay or Delhi or whatever, and then we started using you in a couple of our videos here, and I find
much fun.
So between the commercials and now this latest big movie, Joseph, which is, really put you on the map for a lot of people, people just think, lucky chick, she just figured it out. And
oh my God, no.
But for 5 years, you were like the rest of us grinding it out. So talk about that.
Yeah, so basically, I was offered a movie about 4 years ago.
Oh, you poor thing.
And
after doing like 3 ads.
If you hear what happened, you'll actually say poor thing because it was so weird because this was after a couple of ads, but the thing is I got this through a common friend who lives in the US, funnily, and she was like, no, so can you do a couple of pictures for my jewelry brand, Karma Sutra. And so I was like, sure, and all that stuff, had to do some lotus nose ring stuff. And she was like, this is for billboards in the US. So I was like, okay, sure, awesome, did it for free, everything. Obviously, I knew her.
Billboards in the US you did for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus,
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, so it was
some
basically
small
for
Indian
her.
brand.
Yeah. So I didn't really care about the money. It was just something cool because it was in another place, and
And children, you should do as many free projects as you can to build your portfolio. By the way.
Yeah, exactly. Even after you do movies, okay.
It's like if you're shooting on a $10,000 camera, shoot me. So okay.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, anyway, so that's what happened, and then she recommended me to the cinematographer because he was a good friend of hers. And this was for a movie called Charlie, which had Dulquer Salman. Malu film. And I went there and everything was fine. Learned at least 9 scenes. They sent me for an acting workshop and all of that. And before I went to Cochin, they were like, you have to lose these many kgs of weight and, you have to learn Malayalam and this and that. So I did all of that. I didn't lose exactly how much they asked me to. I lost about 8 kgs. They asked me to lose like 12. But anyway, so...
Works, yeah.
Yeah, foodie, hello. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I went and all of this happened. For 2 weeks I was there, 3 weeks or something I was there.
What was the film?
It was called Charlie.
That's right. Okay.
And I went there and everything was done and we were going to start shooting. And suddenly they were like, there's a problem with one of the locations that we're shooting at in Munnar or wherever. So we'll just let you know when it's going to start. And they just booked my flight back to Bangalore.
Okay.
And never picked my calls up after that.
Really?
Exactly.
So did they make the film?
Yeah, of course they did. And it did really well. And an established actress called Parvati did it.
So they replaced you on the movie?
Yeah.
This has happened to me too on commercials and other things.
So that's what I meant. Like, you can say poor thing now. But I mean, it helped me so much because I learned Malayalam. I learned acting. I went to an acting workshop and I learned people. I found out who was, on the scene in the acting field in Kerala. I learned, I met a lot of producers and directors.
Yeah.
So it was not a complete waste.
And you also learned, which everybody in our field should know, which is rejection and how to have humility about it.
Exactly. And it's okay to be rejected.
And not take it personally and all that stuff.
I mean, obviously the first couple of weeks I was like, why? They didn't even give me a reason. They didn't I'm like, I deserve answers and you don't deserve anything.
And then you're watching that damn movie and you're like, freaking
I was like, oh my God, they copied my style. No. Okay. But you heal over time and it's fine to go through stuff like that because that's how I got Joseph as well. So through the producer of that movie.
So in the years between, so you did a couple of commercials, you got casted in a movie, you thought, wow, this acting thing, cool.
It's just great.
Then you got a taste of humble pie, as we all have, right? Then for those 3, 4, 5 years, you were, I know you also you're a singer, you have a band, but what are all the things you did to keep busy between the next big opportunity?
Yeah, so that's another thing. I didn't make a portfolio and be like, okay, now that I've got casted, let's share it among different people. I was like, okay, maybe they're right about the weight loss, but I I mean, I've never focused on that too much.
Sure.
I just started doing things that I really loved, like, and I know it sounds really cliche, but it's just the truth. Like, I started doing special education, teaching, kids with mental challenges which I really love to do. And through those things, I started meeting more people and more, people in the media, or like even casting people, and started getting more ads, higher budgets, and things just organically happen when you just work at it, when
So are you considering yourself in the last 4 or 5 years a full-time actor? Or are you somebody teaching special ed who just acts on the side?
Yeah, it was half-half. It was definitely 50-50, or maybe even 60-40, doing the teaching 60 and because you make money more regularly than if you do random acting projects.
Yeah, and then you chase down 10K for like 6 months on some dumb commercial.
Yeah. You're like, the money will come, and then one day you'll have 2 rupees, and you're like, okay, the money is not coming.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just ended up doing, and I did a lot of gigs as well, like singing gigs.
Yes.
Because that's another thing that I really enjoy.
Madhuri's a very good singer, by the way. He does a lot of English karaoke, which I'm a fan of. Okay.
Yeah, so did stuff like that. And obviously karaoke nights used to give me the money that I needed, to just do my music therapy classes or my special ed classes. And so over time, even though, now I'm 28, it still doesn't really make a difference, because I feel like I've waited it out, and it's kind of just helped, also, another thing that I did was just take care of myself, because after all the rejection and after everything, I was like, okay, let's take care. So I started working out, and organically the working out as well helped with the acting and getting more roles and getting less mother roles and less, fat roles and getting...
No. So like, see, honestly, I feel like you just said, and I've struggled. I'm always yo-yoing plus or minus 5 kgs. And my wife tells me all the time. And I'm like, look, I look skinny on camera. I don't care. I look skinny with my shirt on. But that also makes your character, right? Because some people... Dude, there's so many typical guys with 6-packs, and there's so many like girls in Andheri in Bombay who look at acting as a full-time thing, and they all just look the same and sound the same. And you have to. I'm totally for being in shape and stuff, but I'm saying you have to have your own style. And, and define it yourself.
And I feel like things around the world, I mean, they are getting more inclusive, and more like whatever size you are, whatever color you are, whatever language you speak, it's okay. Things are getting globalized, and just there is a place for everyone. I know there's competition, but you can't be like, okay, she's getting roles because she's thinner or because she's more good looking, because there's place for any kind of role.
And everyone is a critic until all of a sudden they're your best supporter.
Oh my God, that happens all the time.
I was just reading a comment on my own YouTube and I get a lot of shit because I have this accent and I'm doing Indian material, and it bothers a lot of people, and it's such a first world problem I'm complaining about. But some guy commented this morning, ruined my morning coffee, and he was like, people want regional language or desi accent. It's not working. And I don't know. That's the accent I give him.
Because your opinion matters to me.
But he is the audience. But then I was like, sure, I'll tell that to Russell Peters or something, who's, I'm not him, but I'm sure he had the same thing performing in India 20 years ago. People might have said that to him. And then tomorrow, if I'm a success, that same guy would be like, he's great.
I've spoken to him many times.
And the flip side, they might be like, Sanjay, you're too dark, or Madhuri, you're too this or that. And then all of a sudden, you're a success, and that's your defining characteristic.
That has happened. She
doesn't care. She just kills it.
Oh my God, it's happened so many times, Sanjay. I can't even begin to tell you the number of people who've given me, okay, I accept whatever critique and whatever, honest feedback you want to give me, but it's not going to shake the foundation that I've built this entire thing on, because because I did give a little bit of importance to, juvenile comments earlier on my Instagram.
It's hard not to. We're still human.
Exactly. I still feel I'm really emotional, especially, just being in special ed, my emotions are always being attacked, right? So I did give it importance, and then I realized later that I'm just draining myself because ultimately I'm going to be who I am. And there's this one guy who said something about, who taught you that showing skin is beauty? You should wear a sari. I'm like, because a sari doesn't show any skin.
And then all of a sudden you're in some scoop whoop. Madhuri got trolled, and this is an epic comeback to the haters or some shit.
They put screenshots all over the place, and it was on 7 news channels. And I woke up in the morning, I had interview calls. I was like, listen, I was just talking. It was just
So that's a great segue into something else now. I love your approach. I love my approach. I love everyone's approach on just do your shit. You don't know where it's gonna go, and things will come, and just be ready. So,
and also if they come, just do a background check and don't just take anything, because there's a lot of bullshit out there.
Don't take some casting couch Malu guy saying come to Kerala, no return ticket, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? Because that shit does happen even today.
All the time,
But be confident about it. So you had those not connections, but you had some experience and you learned some bit of Malayalam. Before I segue into dealing with Instagram and fame and keeping your head straight, I want to ask you one last thing that we talked about before, which was you learned Malayalam sort of, because you don't speak it. It's probably your fourth language, right? After English, Kannada, Tamil, and some bit of Hindi. How do you get casted in a Malayalam film just barely speaking it?
So the funny part is they told me, oh, we have Punjabis doing Malayalam films. They don't know Malayalam. I was like, what rubbish? They can't be like and then oo comes out of their mouth when they're dubbing it, right?
Sure.
So they said, no, you just have to learn your lines. And I was like, how can you learn a line if you don't know what syllables form it? Like what are you saying? I can't by heart, right? Even in school, I never did. So I was like, okay, so at least let me learn a little bit. And then what happened was, because of that Charlie movie that didn't work out, I really didn't know Malayalam. Okay, I was supposed to learn, but it was just too hard.
You just matched the movements on your mouth and they dubbed it already.
So I had a translator and she used to just say, and I struggle so much, Sanjay. I used to like lie down in my hotel room and like literally in my sleep I'll be saying the lines, and I like sometimes feel like writing it on my pillow, because I just had to kind of grind it into my head. And then later I realized that the only way to learn a language is by watching stuff with subtitles, with English subtitles, like watching a Malu video with subtitles, so that you're like, hey, oh yeah, this is what they said earlier and this is what it means. Or like watching a movie, or like, listening to people talk to you in Malayalam and then respond in English. So that's what I started doing, and then got a couple of ads, and in those ads, again, the scripts that you learn are just like 5-6 lines, but they teach you a lot of grammar.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so that's how it happened, and then I've started talking. So if I meet a Malu, I'll just talk in Malayalam, even if it's terrible, broken, very bad grammar Malayalam, because that's the only way that you just learn, because you have to just dive into the deep
because
end.
I was in researching, because it's so funny. I'm so not ignorant, but I'm not in this space. So like randomly one day I'm like looking at Madhuri's profile, like, how did she get so many followers in like 2 minutes? Like, did she? And then like Vamsi, our friend, was like, dude, she's like a big star right now. She's like, and I was like, I'm just so out of that zone. And then I was researching this a couple of weeks ago when I asked you to come on the show, and I saw there was some news channel, some interview with these cool Malu actor guys, and they're all speaking Malayalam, and you're just answering in English. And I was like, does that fly when that's on TV in some Kerala airport or something?
I mean, I told them before the interview, I was like, listen, Malayalam korchu kashtamana, so I will speak in English. And they're like, no problem, korpilla and all. Okay, I was like, okay, sure, thanks and all. And then I spoke in English, and I'll say a little bit of Malayalam in between just to, make people slightly happy. But it's
You're like the Katrina KF of Kerala, basically. Kerala Katrina KF.
And the thing is, I know...
or something like how they just smile and answer politely.
I know Tamil, okay. So Tamil is slightly similar. Like hot in Tamil is sood, and in Malayalam it's chewed.
Okay.
So there are certain words that are a little similar. So if I speak Tamil, they're like, okay, they can understand a little bit.
Yeah, and more people in Kerala would speak English better than people in Bombay generally. I mean, in the masses, right? Is that fair to say? In South India generally, like
that people speak better English.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not giving this blanket statement. South India, we know way more English.
Don't get so offended.
We're gonna get on BuzzFeed right now, but no, but I'm saying like generally, like I would say a higher person. If you're in Kerala and you're on the street and you need a rickshaw or something, chances are he'll know a little bit better English than somebody in Delhi.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Like 1%, yeah.
For some reason, I mean, this whole thing about being 100% literate state and all of that is like kind of...
True.
I don't know if it's fully true, but it's definitely
But what I'm saying is when this comes on a mainstream TV channel in Kerala, your English won't be a problem for a lot of people. It's not like they just tune out.
They definitely understand, and they try to understand, and they know that you're trying to understand their questions as well. Okay. So it's like a joint effort, I think.
Cool. Yeah. So as a segue...
But before you say that, I still don't know Malayalam fully, and I'm still working my ass off to learn it, because it's the only way. Like the previous film that I shot last month, damn difficult.
Really?
Very difficult. I
Like,
needed a
bigger
prompter.
lines, more lines.
Longer, longer takes where they can't cut the line.
Yeah.
They can't cut the scene. So I needed a prompter and everything. So I'm still, it's going to take a while.
So you were telling me off screen, that when you were in Joseph, it's actually not your voice, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
They dubbed it with a Malayalam.
And then these
singer.
same people are messaging you like, love how you delivered the line.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even
yeah,
realizing
yeah.
it's not your voice.
And the voice suit, somebody, when I told them that, it was not me, I was just, obviously mouthing the lines, saying it in my own voice, didn't come out, the grammar was not right, but they dubbed it with somebody else. They were like, oh, but the voice suited you so well. And then my own friends were like, dude, that does not sound like you, man. And like, it's so fake. And I was like, no, that's just because y'all know me personally. But they wanted me to come across as this really, ready for marriage kind of girl who's like, very pavam and all of that. So the voice was, suiting that kind of a role.
Gotcha.
And I didn't like it in the beginning, but then you have to just be okay with it because the director knows what he's doing. And
then he'll anyways fix it in post or do what he has
Exactly.
to do, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And we're back after a quick short break. Now, Madhuri, we've talked about a bit about your background and acting and what's been going on. Now, one thing that's very important, and there was a joke I started with at the podcast, not my joke, wish it was, which is, somebody said, oh yeah, my overnight success took 10 years or something. And you've been at this for a while. Even in Bollywood, there's a lot of amazing actors who you realize have been doing theater for like 30 years. Yeah. And only now mainstream India has heard of them and they get their award or whatever.
Right.
So in our world, especially, the under 40 world, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, social media, it's crazy because people don't realize you'll make more as an Instagrammer with 1 million followers than you would as a TV serial actor.
Yeah.
Hell, even a Bollywood actor in some places, right?
Yeah.
Now, for you, when I noticed, I was like, wow, dude, she has like all these fans now and like so many comments, and I kept teasing you like, wow, madam,
yeah. Oh my God, so entertaining.
Yeah.
And so many of them actually thought that it was legit, like that you were.
Yeah, they're like, who's this stalker of hers? Yeah. So how do you keep your head on straight, Because if I was, 20 something, which I wish I was, if I was 20 something and I got 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, and every day people telling me how pretty I am, how great I am, and a couple of movie things, commercial things, how do you realize a lot of this is meaningless? Because the second they love you just as quick, they could also just not care about you and move on to the next person.
Exactly.
So is it your mother? Is it a manager? Is it just your own experience?
It is. So my granddad actually once told me, it's always something about how you should never let this get to your head, because like even supposing at a party, if someone compliments me, right, and says, oh, I love your outfit, oh, you're looking really pretty, my granddad would hear it and he would like later on, just a few days before he passed away, actually, that's why I remember it. He was like, darling, whatever people say, you're going to be you, and what people say shouldn't really change who you are. Don't let it get to your head, because once it gets to your head, it starts looking ugly, or it comes across as ugly. And I was like, yeah, grandpa, that's true, and it's actually really true, because I've been practicing. It's really hard, okay.
I was just gonna say, because we all heard this before.
Yeah,
this
it's hard.
Don't have an ego, basically.
Yeah, and it is hard because humans, I think, are just designed that way, where
I'm awesome.
We love appreciation and we want to be thanked, and we want to be kept on this pedestal. But what happens is, I've noticed that, like you said, as fast as a person can love you, they can hate you, right?
Of course.
And so many people who've been like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Like overnight, if I don't respond, they're like blocking me and like hates, like putting hate
I
stuff
was
up.
with you from 20,000 followers. Now you have 30 and it's gotten to your head. And like, what the hell? I just didn't read the message or whatever. Thank you,
Yeah, exactly. So what I've realized is I've just tried to be myself. So I take this whole acting thing out of my whole life, and I'm like, will I still be the same, and or is this whole thing a part of who I am?
Yeah.
And then I realized that, okay, if I take out the whole acting thing, I still have the same friends, I still have the same family, I still have the same features, I still have whatever I have, my body, mind, everything is the same. So this is just an additional bonus to everything that I have right now. So, and another thing is, like, when people come and take selfies with me and things like that, it's very easy to feel like, oh my God, everyone wants to take a picture with me, and every time somebody comes and takes a picture with me, I actually talk to them, and I say, so what's your name? And they don't expect it at all. So they like start sweating and they're like,
they just think they want the picture. You'll say thanks and you'll walk away.
And I'm just trying to show them that, everybody's human at the end of the day. You can't be like, even though I'm obsessed with John Cena, like obsessed to another level.
Oh, the wrestler? Yeah. John Cena watches this podcast, by the way.
Of course, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's coming on
next. My heart is beating really fast.
What if this was like Ellen's like, well, I just happen to have John Cena.
Oh my God, and Ellen, So
please body slam me, John. Yeah. He's that meme guy, right? With the
the FU, he does.
No, but every time they make a meme of somebody getting trolled, they show that gif of him body slamming.
Yeah. So he, first of all, he has an amazing voice. He's very like an amazing heart. He does a lot of charity.
I'm sure the voice and the heart is why you like him. Yeah.
So hot, like I'll just melt. Okay, and Ellen as
John
well.
Cena. Yeah.
And Ellen is one of my, not one of my, I think she is my idol. So we also have these idols and we have these things that we look up to. So it's okay for people to look up to us as well. But I'm sure it's, not like it's not got to Ellen's head where she's like, I'm the greatest of all time and stuff like that. So we use that as well as inspiration. Like I use that as inspiration, to kind of keep me grounded. And the whole point is every time somebody notices that you're not an absolute bitch, they're like, hey, we can actually talk to you. And I've had so many good conversations with people on set, off set, because I'm just okay to have a conversation and not think I'm too cool or whatever. And it's just, it's just part of, your personality. Sometimes
So you basically credit your grandpa, rest in peace, right? He just, So you credit your grandpa with telling you to keep your head on straight because here today, gone tomorrow, right?
Exactly. I can just meet with an accident, lose everything that I have and, still be alive and just having to make what I have of it. So...
and I think everybody in general, but we as Indians, for example, it's always Sachin versus Virat Kohli or Dhoni or, who's a better actor, Shah Rukh or Amir. And each of them are making like $1 billion or $1 million each per day, yet we feel the need to compare them as if they care who's doing better or not, while they both have McMansions and Ferraris. And the same thing in I've learned in comedy, and whether it's, wow, Sanjay, you had 10,000 followers, he had 1,000, now he has 1 million, you have 11,000. And I'm like, redundant. None of this shit matters, bro, because tomorrow somebody else will have 12 million, he'll have 1 million, and yada, 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 yada.
And I know people who have millions of followers and people haven't even heard of their name.
Yeah, of course.
So and I know people who have like 1,000 or 2,000 followers and they're so well known in music or whatever they're doing. So honestly, this whole follower thing, you can be followed by people just because of the clothes you wear or just because of something else.
That's the beauty of it, because think about before followers, what was the benchmark? Like 100 crores at the box office or whatever, right? And like you just said, I know plenty of people with no talent who have followers, and I know like an amazing musician or singer or an actor with 10,000 followers, right? Now, there might be somebody who has a 100 crore movie, but that's not the best actor. They're just part of the best marketing team or a better storyline.
Oh my God, so many examples coming to me right now, but I'm just going to keep quiet.
She will give me the names in the description. If you want to know, please follow Madhuri on Instagram so we can have more followers with the talent. Yes.
Another thing is this whole verification thing. Okay?
Yeah.
This is
I love it, darling. I love it.
Everybody's like, why aren't you getting verified, dude? Get verified and all because you have so many fake profiles. And I'm like, dude, just like it doesn't matter. And the more
and it'll happen.
Yeah, and the more important.
Madhuri, let me tell you, it'll happen.
Thank you so much. I've
only got 11,000, but I have the check mark. So the exchange rate is a lot.
Did it change your life? Oh my God, what did it feel like?
My wife always, whenever we like argue about something, she has this joke where she's like, "Why didn't you wake me up? You said you'd wake me up," and I was like, "I don't know. I thought you." She's like, "Is it because I'm not verified?" She always does this thing. It didn't change my life, but it's a nice little thing to have. It's fun.
Because
but go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, so I'm just saying that these are the things. It's all in your head. It's all in people's heads.
Yeah.
Like what matters to you cannot matter to somebody else at all. And
sure.
I don't know. Just again, Wikipedia, right? Everyone's like, get yourself on Wikipedia. And I'm like, dude, like my work will come out there and hopefully speak for itself. And when things are supposed to happen, they'll happen. Like if you keep pressurizing yourself about everything, it's just what are you chasing? Finally, ultimately. Are you chasing good work? Are you chasing fame? Are you chasing money? Are you chasing you have to figure out what you want to chase first, I think. And honestly, I just want to have a good time in life.
No, I'm so happy you said that, because right now I have so many friends, even people who have come up in comedy and acting. they're happy to do YouTube videos, they're happy to be silly, do podcasts. Then they get a couple of movies and they seem almost untouchable or unapproachable. And then I'm like, wait, let's shoot another sketch. And they're like, I can't, darling, or like whatever. And then they do nothing for 2 years, because they're protecting this weird thing when initially it was just do whatever you want to do and have fun and be silly and whatever comes.
Like people forget why they started. Honestly, that's what happens. Like you're like, why did I start this? And then you're like, oh, like now I'm doing it for something else, and people want to start acting cocky, and you just lose the whole essence of you, and that's why you were brought here in the first place. It's just really weird.
Like there's so many big time Hollywood, Bollywood stars, and they have this projected thing. Every step on the ladder they take is planned and structured and protected. And I know comedians who won't do shows with other comedians who are less popular because those comedians are hilarious and they're gonna make them look bad. I don't know how to say it. It's like a cricketer who never plays against a tough opponent, or like how many big time Bollywood, Hollywood stars, and then they get on Instagram stories and they're such a dud, or they're not funny, or they're not creative, or they're not clever, and you're like, you should do this garbage work because ultimately it's you're gonna be natural on screen rather than just every airbrush, every this, that.
Oh, the airbrushing, that's another thing. Oh my God. Like, people are constantly like photoshopping my pictures. I'm like, dude, I am okay with my body. Most viewers are okay with it. Like, why is your magazine okay with it?
Sure.
And but that's again this whole social construct that we have to just deal with. I think the more I let it affect me, the more I'm just gonna be like bogged down. So I'm like, okay, you want to Photoshop it, you just go ahead.
I wish more people, especially in the age of social media and as the mediums are changing, right? Like, I was like, are you not? Why is your mic not? Okay, no, here's this.
I'm not talking.
If she's not talking, the meter won't move. That's right. I wish more people with social media would. One thing I love about being an actor, being a comedian, is how humbling social media makes you. That I can wake up in the morning and someone can tell me to quit my passion. I suck. I don't need to do this anymore. I'm horrible. Go back to America. And I literally just bounces off me. Yeah. But yet I can differentiate that between constructive criticism or my wife saying you got to work harder or whatever. And I was talking to, I think, Essay or Vamsi or somebody about this, that earlier you would make a movie once in 3 years, or you would spend your whole life writing a book. One bad review just shits on your whole life, and you feel like, well, I wrote a book once when I was 30 and now I'm 60 and I have life regrets. We get that same feeling every day.
Exactly.
And so we learn that it doesn't matter for shit. Just keep doing your work.
Yeah, and people, there are always going to be haters. Like how much ever you respond to each of them and be like no and no, like you're going to get shit forever.
So how do you distinguish between haters and constructive, valuable feedback from strangers?
Okay, so a hater would be something like he would talk about something that really doesn't matter. Like for example,
I like how it's always he. Yeah,
it's definitely a he. Okay, I mean, a she would like inbox me, very
women
like
are haters too, by the way. But
I'm sure with you, but like it's always the opposite sex. So or maybe because I've just experienced
That's
it only.
That's going to be the caption of this video. It's always the opposite sex. What is she talking about? Oh, we're gonna go viral. Okay.
So exactly. It will be on your story.
Clickbait.
Half post.
So okay, go on.
So So someone would say something about. See, you look better in this and not in this. So don't ever wear this.
A guy would say this.
A guy would say that. And I'm like, nobody asked you.
A straight guy would say this.
I mean, I prefer to just like imitate him in my head.
Yeah, darling.
Because if it's about the clothes, why do you care? Unless you're a stylist, like why do you care? So stuff like that. But if it's constructive criticism, it would be something like, you should start. Why do you sing only Western music? You should start doing more Malayalam music because we're all like Malayalis and blah blah, which kind of makes sense because you cater to your audience, right? So you just have to kind of read through, and there's a lot of bullshit which they want you to like. They want to just tick you off to get a response.
Hot, sexy, not nice, like whatever. All
that
crap.
And they want to get a response, so they'll say something really conniving, like really weird and mean, and you have to get just thick-skinned, and it's sad because it kind of makes you thick-skinned with other areas of your life as well. Yeah, because it changes your whole feel with everything. But
I know, I'm getting personal, but like my wife is always like, you're just like so stone cold somber when you're on your laptop. Somber. Samba
idli.
She was just like, you don't express any emotion until we step outside. Like during the day, I'm like, that's just how I have to operate. Because
Yeah.
if I'm reading 600 comments or I'm trying not on the same note, right? You don't get offended so easily, but you also can't get so excited so easily because I might get cast in that movie, then they'll cut me out in 10 days, you know, or something. So
And also another thing with these messages and stuff, I realized there was a setting on Instagram where you can allow
only from people you follow,
or only people who follow you. So like someone who's just randomly, you know, cruising for a bruising. I read that somewhere. He or she can't comment on your stuff. So there are ways to reduce the damage.
Sure.
But ultimately you just have to be a little, you know, cutthroat, and you have to be a little, you know, just not stone cold, but just thick-skinned. So.
I love it, dude, and I'm having such a good time on this podcast. So last question to take us home. I want to ask you, along the same lines, okay, we've talked about, you know, keeping your head on straight, just recognizing that all this is precious, how you got into movies, which I think is all valuable for people. Even number one thing, please take away from this podcast is always be working every day in some way or the other.
Yeah,
whether
like,
it's
even now, sorry to interrupt, but even now, a couple of days ago, I did a shoot for something, or like let me give you a total random example. I actually met somebody out there who wanted to see one of my videos on YouTube where I did like this thing about some food and some food interview, something, and from there I got work. So you can never say what clicks where, and just saying no to things because of the budget. I mean, obviously, increasing your value is one thing. Like, don't say yes to stupid stuff when, you know, but always keep working, even if it's reading or even if it's just watching stuff or, you know, getting acting advice from somewhere. Always helps. It always helps.
Of course, never put all your eggs in one basket, because sometimes it's Tuesday and you gotta be vegetarian, you know. Like what I mean is
vegan.
Yeah, to your point, I have videos that have done 1 million, 5 million that have got me work, but I also have videos that have done like 500 views that have got me work because we loved your narration as a voiceover on that, or we loved your fake British accent there, whatever. And you never know where it's going to take you. So whether it's putting up even just a nice selfie, learning how to use your iPhone camera outside to shoot something silly, a photo shoot, writing stuff.
Yeah, like my captions have got me work. I shit you not.
Your captions, meaning?
Captions on Instagram.
Like are you one of those? Are you one of those super senti, like nobody ever thought I would?
No, not at all. I don't give a shit about that. But I spoke about body, like just about how I don't give a shit about
body shaming. Or this, that,
and everyone was like, "But you started working out and you lost weight," and I was like, "Yeah, but that helped me mentally more than it helped me physically."
Yeah.
And no one might believe me, but it I don't need to prove anything. But because I wrote about that stuff, like there was a company that, you know, approached me to talk about stuff like that to women, because women are constantly like, oh my god, because social media is so out there. There are pros and cons, obviously. So it's showing you that you have to be thin, or it's showing you weight loss tablets, it's showing you all kinds of bullshit. But at the end of the day, you have to just realize that you are you, right? So I'm saying anything can get you work, even if it's just thinking about something. People think that, this may not, you know, I might sound too dumb if I type this out and blah blah blah, but people actually read, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, I love this whole, and that's a whole other podcast, this whole body shaming, body positivity, skin positivity, fairness, and there's
feminism.
Feminism is one other, but there's like, it's like, dude, there's nothing wrong with having anybody who has a six-pack, man, you sacrificed a year of your life for that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
And like
flaunt it.
You know, I wish I had it. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. Like people ask me why I was on keto or why I had a personal trainer before my wedding. I was like, I just want to know, did my abs ever exist? Like, are they under there somewhere? I've never seen them. They're like Santa Claus to me. They may or may not be real, you know, and I still have yet to see them. But, but I was like, there's another joke I heard about guys, like no guy gets a six-pack to share it with one person.
Oh my God.
So ladies, if your man has a six-pack, you better be careful.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cena, I'm
it's
sorry.
It's not he's not just for me.
By the way, you know, John Cena was in that Block movie. What was that movie? John Cena was in something called Blockers.
Listen, there are so many movies.
Okay, but his lead star opposite him is an Indian girl.
Oh my God, don't excite me.
She's making out with him and all that stuff.
Oh my God, I hate her.
So she's going to watch that movie now after this. Last question, okay? Last question. So as an actor, as somebody on the come up, somebody who's having success now, how do you plan yourself going forward? Do you tell yourself, this year, I want to hit 2 movies, 5 commercials. I should earn this much, yada yada. Like, what's your strategy, milestones, targets? How do you plan it?
Yeah, so I honestly take each day as it comes, which sounds very cliche, but I make to-do lists.
Yeah.
I make to-do lists and I'm like, okay, face massage today. But at the same time, I respond to mails, and I kind of have like my stuff planned for the next 2 months at least, if not more.
Do you have an assistant, a full-time agent?
Not yet. So that's one of the things I'm working on right now, getting a really trustworthy manager.
Yeah.
But
send your resumes to madhuribreganzacasting@gmail.com. Yeah.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. Oh, be careful. Yeah. Okay, go on.
So I basically tell myself, okay, so this is where you are. Just don't stay in the same place next month.
Okay.
That's how I
always
plan.
move the ball forward, whether it's an inch or a meter or whatever.
So I'm like, okay, so you if it's health, like make sure you're like 500 grams, healthier, maybe more muscle, less fat, whatever.
Okay.
Or if it's movies and stuff, make sure that either you've increased your budget a little bit, or you've done, another ad which is better quality work, or you've, spoken to someone who's given you worthwhile advice. Anything, even if it's something small, I just tell myself, don't be in the same place that you were in today that you were in yesterday.
Do you look at your social media like a profession now? For example, do you plan 3 posts a day or 3 posts a week?
Actually, not yet. So I've noticed that I've been posting once in 3 days, okay, like on my proper posts, but I do stories every day, and I did that even when I had only 100 followers. Like stories is just something I just feel like sharing the moments that I go through, especially if it's a funny moment, and you can never say who's having a bad day, and then so many people respond and they're like, dude, like, that made my day, or like it made me laugh or whatever. And so a lot of people are like, why do you put up so many stories? Is it for attention? I'm like, of course it is, because that's what I'm looking at.
It's actually marketing, to be honest, and
it can be as well. So that's another thing, and also supporting other actors and artists, even not just actors. Like today I put up the thing about the comedy thing that Rupan's doing with Sandeep and stuff, because I know that I have friends who love comedy shows but wouldn't have seen their posts. So just to put up stuff for whatever reason always helps.
Of course, not everything is an advertisement. It's also just a recommendation.
Exactly. And if I believe in something and I support something, I'll put it out there.
And I guarantee you there will be people in Kamanahali, I think is where their show is tonight, that are doing jack shit tonight, and they're just gonna sit in some bar listening to techno for the 80th time. If they do see something they might enjoy, it's not spam, it's not hurting them and all. If you were doing this in New York or something, and the show's in India, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
But a couple of people already did respond and be like, oh, this looks like fun, and they stay that side of town. So you can never say, and you don't lose anything by like supporting somebody else. I don't understand. That's another thing which is weird to me.
No, it's very silly, but I went viral on Twitter this week, like some 5,000 retweets and 20,000 likes or whatever.
Congratulations.
About making fun of NRIs dancing for Modi in like Luxembourg or Germany or somewhere. And I was like, come back to India. Like I added some funny caption. My caption got me work. So I added some funny caption, and the caption went viral of the tweet. Okay, and everyone was like shitting on me, and then because everybody was that tweet got seen 100,000 times, but beneath the tweet I started replying to my own tweet with my podcast link, with my video link, and I picked up 1,000 views on a brand new podcast, which is important in those days, right? And then somebody was like, really, are you promoting your podcast here? And I was like, yeah, it's my content.
No shit, Sherlock.
And I'm a content creator. And then I click on that girl's profile. She's an aspiring YouTuber who has like 200 subscribers, and I was like, why don't you learn something, go viral on some blog or tweet, and then obviously attach your content to it. What's wrong with that?
I'm so happy that you said that, because yesterday I saw this thing by, was it Jay Shetty or Prince EA, one of these guys. Okay?
Don't get me started.
So Prince EA, okay, this guy puts up this video, and I see a comment under that by this singer, a rapper in the US, and he says, guys, honestly, this has nothing to do with the video, but I just want the most number of likes so that people see this comment, and this is to just let you know that I'm a rapper from here, and I'm trying to build my thing. And it made so much sense, because like 8,000, 9,000 people are following him now.
Of course.
Through that. So we have to be smart, guys.
I mean, there are a bunch of other people who, are like Instagram bots, and they're like, love it or love the hustle. And so I'm like, I'll tag this with podcast, and some random white guy in Texas like, hey, your podcast is great, check out mine. And I was like, hey, you probably like had some program that does this on 900 profiles every second.
Oh yeah.
I was like, hey, Brian from Texas, you do not care about about Sanjay and Madhuri talking about Malayalam film industry. So,
I swear.
you know.
Check out mine is the only thing he actually wanted to say.
So, and then I check his out, and he's like, "What's up with Trump?" Anyway, yeah. So, Madhuri, thank you so much, dude. This was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. Yeah, I know.
And I hope we talked about something new.
Yeah, I hope we helped somebody out there. I mean, I'm being all martyr like.
She's gonna kill it. She's on the come up. I'm super excited to watch her movies when they come out with English subtitles on Netflix.
Thank you. I have a DVD. I'll give it to you.
Is it on Netflix? I don't have a DVD player. So.
Oh wow! Thanks, man. What about a computer?
Why isn't it on Netflix now? Or
they're working on a Netflix release.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it. And that'll have English subs for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Right?
And even the movie when it released in Bangalore had English subtitles, but
so this movie was very well received, right? Joseph, like a lot of people.
I didn't expect it to do as well as it did, but yay.
And the next movie, is it public? The one that you just shot last month?
Yeah, last month. Actually, a Kannada movie is coming out next month called Kushka, and which I shot ages ago, but they were waiting for the IPL to finish for some reason. And the next Malayalam one is called Patabi Raman, and that's releasing around.
So how many movies are on your docket right now, slated for release this year? 2 or 3?
Just 2. Yeah, 2. And I might be shooting one in July, so we'll see when that gets released.
Jesus, girl, you're full on it. Thanks, dude. Thanks so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yay, so much fun.
And any questions from Madhuri, you guys, or me, or whoever, please tweet, write them, review this podcast, hit us up. Madhuri gave her email somewhere in this podcast.
Yeah. So. My Instagram, guys, Madhuri Official. Yeah.
Like she needs any more followers, but she doesn't need that blue tick. By the time you hear this, she'll probably already have it. Yeah. Imagine if this podcast is known for getting people the blue tick. I'll be so happy. Thanks, Madhuri. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Birdy num num. Birdy num num. A birdie num num.